Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the RailTel Corporation post-results Q3 FY21 earnings conference call hosted by IDBI Capital. Please note that this call is of 45 minutes. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand over the call to Mr. Vishal Periwal from IDBI Capital. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for sparing time and attending the post-results earning call of RailTel Corp. From the RailTel management, we have with us Shri Puneet Chawla, Chairman and Managing Director, Shri Anand Kumar Singh, Director Finance and CFO. And now I'll be handing over the call to the RailTel management for the opening remarks, and post which we'll have a Q&A. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. As you all know, RailTel is a mini Ratna PSU under the Government of India, and it started as a vanilla bandwidth service provider, but now it has grown to be one of the largest ICT infrastructure providers in the company. Our strength is that we have got an exclusive right of way along the railway tracks of 67,000 route kilometers plus, connecting 7,300 plus railway stations, and our optical fiber network covers today 59,000 plus route kilometers and 5,900 plus railway stations. We are apart from optical fiber network, we have got our two data centers which are MeitY empaneled and Tier 3 certified. On both the optical fiber and the data center, we offer a diverse range of services including telecom network services, telecom infrastructure services, managed data center and hosting services, and we also execute a number of projects. Till last year, that is FY20, in last year our turnover was 1166 CR, and the PAT was grew by 4.2%, and this year we are doing better than last year. There is a 1166 last year was the highest ever turnover achieved by the company, and this year we are expecting to increase that to cross that also. And we had our board meeting yesterday, and the results of the third quarter were finalized. The accounts were finalized, and the consolidated revenue from operations for third quarter ending December 31st stood at rupees 411 CR, registering a growth of 45% on quarter-on-quarter basis and 52% on year-on-year. The telecom segment contributed to approximately rupees 224 crores, which was 10% more than the preceding quarter and 16% higher year-on-year. The project segment contributed rupees 187 CR, registering 135% increase quarter-on-quarter and 144% year-on-year. Total income stood at rupees 418 crores, which is 43% increase over the preceding year and 50% higher on year-on-year. 43% increase over the last quarter. The PBT stood at rupees 94 crore and PAT at rupees 70 crore, which was higher by 135% and 141% respectively over the previous quarter. EBITDA for third quarter was rupees 128 crore, that is an increase of 91% on quarter-on-quarter basis and 60% on year-on-year. The EBITDA margin was 30.62% and it grew by 33% compared to the preceding quarter. Core EBITDA was rupees 121 crore, which is 109% increase over the preceding quarter. The company made a provision of rupees 19.73 crores against impairment loss and expected credit loss in the third quarter, as against rupees 55.15 crore in the second quarter of FY21. The adjusted PAT on year to date in this year, it is trending at rupees 185 crore, even after adjusting the said provision. I would like to stress here that even after adjusting the said provision, the PBT in the third quarter grew by a healthy 20% of the preceding quarter and 115% on year-on-year basis. So, considering all this, the company has declared an interim dividend of rupees 1 per share, that is 10% of the paid up share capital. So, this was a brief of the performance of the company so far and particularly in this last quarter. So, I'll be glad to take some questions, if any.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may please press star and 1 at this time. The first question is from the line of Ashok Tamani, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for the conference call. Recently you announced that you won an order. Could you give us some color on that, please, sir?
We recently got an order from Central Coalfields Limited for commissioning a virtual private network for them, including a network operation center at more than 400 locations. So this is their headquarters is at Ranchi, and we have to make this network for them, and we will also operate it, maintain it for the next 5 years.
And what is the value of this order, sir?
153 crores,
including the maintenance?
including, yes.
Okay. And so could you give us some color on the next year looking ahead, now that we are almost out of COVID? How do you see growth for your company in the next financial year?
The growth in the next financial year also will be quite good. In fact, COVID has not affected us adversely. In fact, the demand for our services has grown post-COVID. Our leased line services has grown, our broadband service has grown, and our services in the health sector has grown, the education sector is growing, the coal sector, I already told you about this big order, and rest of the coal companies which are yet to make their network are also in talks with us. So the requirement of ICT, the importance of ICT is being understood by in all the sectors. The investments which were to be made 2 to 4 years from now, due to impact of COVID, I mean, people realize our video conference service which we offer, that requirement has grown more by 25 times. So all these things, and then we are one of the leading companies in the field, so we are certainly to get a good pie out of it.
Right. So could you just also give us some color, my last question, on, you're putting up a surveillance system at stations. What part of that is remaining, and how do you look at that exercise going?
See, that is a big project. We have to commission this at more than 6,000 stations. Out of 6,000 stations, we have commissioned 260 stations, which are big stations. 260 big major stations we have commissioned, and this project will take approximately 2 years to be completed. This is the railway station. Apart from this, we have also been told to provide this in the coaches. So a work of 14,000 plus coaches has been sanctioned, and that also, depending upon the availability of funding, etc., it will be executed. So we expect this also to be completed in next 2.5 years time.
So if you can put a number as to, you said only 260 of 6,000 stations have been completed so far, right?
Yes.
And in the coaches, almost nothing has been done so far, right?
Coaches is yet to be taken up.
Correct. So what are the sizes of these projects at full scale, sir? How many stations would you expect to do next year and the year after that? And what will be the size each year of that?
Size in terms of money?
Revenue. Yes, sir.
Revenue. So revenue, see, the stations part is approximately 1,000 CR total.
Right.
And the coaches part is 400 CR.
Okay. And that should hopefully come over 2 to 3 years?
Yes. 2 to 3 years, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, and good luck for the next quarter.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. We would like to remind participants that you may press star 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Apurva Mehta from AM Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Can you tell me the current order book and how are we going to execute over the next 2-3 years? What kind of visibility we have?
The current order book was about, before filing of the RHP was for 1,000 CR, and post filing the RHP till now, we have got orders of approximately for 100 CR. So that means 4,400 CR is the order book right now, and the order book will of course continue to grow, and we expect like these orders what we have, some orders we have to implement it in 1 year's time, some are in 6 months time, and some may go up to 4 years also, like the railway signaling project which has been allocated to us on a pilot basis. So that may go up to 4 years also. So it will be, I would say, that timeline to execute this order book which we have right now is about 6 months to 4 years.
But next year, you can give us some visibility. What will be the revenue stream, for next year?
Revenue stream will be from both the services as well as the projects. What I am telling you is the projects only. What I told you, 4,400. The services part will of course continue. Right now we have services of 700 CR in hand, which will continue. So the services of 700 CR plus projects.
Project will be how much, sir? If we where we were doing last year, we did around 383 crore. This year we would be executing, I don't know, maybe close to 400 crore. But next year would be, because there will be no COVID and we can have some visibility, more visibility about that. So what kind of project execution will do?
The project execution will certainly be at a faster pace. We will be completing the e-office project for the railways. We have done phase 1 and 2. The third phase we will be completing. Then this CCTV project, which just Mr. Ashok was also talking about, that we will be executing this project at quite a large number of stations. Then the coal field projects for the coal companies we will be executing. Then some signaling projects, ongoing signaling projects we will be executing for the railways. Another important project which we have already started and which will be progress at a very fast pace next year is the hospital management system, hospital management information system. So these are some of the key projects.
Apurva ji, I'm A.K. Singh, Director of Finance, Railtel. I would like to just add to what CMD sir just said. For the period ended 30th September, we executed project revenue was 135 CR. For the period ending 31st December, it is 322 CR.
Okay.
So and if I take it on year basis, the growth is 73%.
Okay.
So it can be taken as a guidance that we will be moving in this fashion in the fourth quarter as well as for FY22 also.
Okay. Nice. Sir, on the services side, what kind of visibility we have, where we were growing steadily on the NLD service and ISP. So can you throw some light on what kind of visibility we can see in that services business?
Yes, our services continue to grow.
Okay.
We have grown, if we say year on year, by 16%.
Okay.
Year on year on the services. So this trend also will continue to grow and is expected to increase only.
Okay.
Because of the growing demand.
Okay. And the demand side, where we see from the government side, from the private side, how is the demand coming from? What will be from the government side? What will be the private side?
See, in both the sectors, government as well as private, it will continue to grow. From government, I can tell you one or two things which we are working on already. The government wants to provide a broadband connectivity to 6 lakh villages in 1,000 days. Now, our network, we are present. We have commissioned one of the largest Wi-Fi networks of the world. We have provided Wi-Fi at 5,900 plus railway stations already.
Okay.
So that out of which 80% are in the rural regions, which would mean that 5,000 stations are in the rural parts of the country. Now, at all these parts, we have provided a broadband POPs from which we have provided Wi-Fi. Now, we have got sufficient spare capacity there. We have given a proposal to the Department of Telecommunications that from these villages in rural areas, we can extend broadband facility to the nearby villages. So, and they asked for a proposal for 2 states. So, Maharashtra and Jharkhand, we have already submitted to them. I mean, which is very big. The opportunity, this projects, both, covering all these states is very big projects. So, some states we will get. We will not get everything, but then some we will get, no?
Okay.
That is in government sector, in the Department of Telecommunications. Then health sector. Every state wants to have a hospital management information system. And this has been accelerated due to COVID. And similarly, the online classes, the education, smart classes. So all these sectors will grow, and we will certainly get some pie out of all this. This is apart from the railways.
So on the 5G side, can we have some benefit coming from the 5G rollout also?
See, we are not into the mobile service operator.
Okay.
We are not a mobile service operator.
Yeah.
But then we have been given the task of 4 pilot projects for mobile, for developing a high-speed mobile communication corridor for the railways. Okay. Railways have made a plan to provide a high-speed mobile communication corridor on all the important routes of the railways.
Okay.
It is 4G based actually, not 5G, 4G based.
Okay.
Railways have that. But this will entail construction of towers at almost all the railway stations, and it will, 8 to 10 kilometers we will have the towers. So one tenancy we will be using for the railways, and then 2 tenancies, that is, we will be able to collocate the antennas and the infrastructure of the mobile telecom operator there. So to that extent, the infrastructure provider segment, we are also an infrastructure provider, so that will grow.
Okay.
That income from that will come with the acceleration of the 5G service.
Sir, can we have a broad
brief? Mr. Mehta,
yeah.
I would request you to rejoin the queue for follow-up questions,
okay.
Sir. Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, you may press star and 1 now. The next question is from the line of Viraj Mithani from Jupiter Financial. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. I just wanted some clarity. You talked about the order book, which is the 4,400 crores of project and 700 crores of services, right? So that becomes 5,100 crores. Is that correct to think?
No. I would interrupt here. 700 crore is for 1 year, not for this thing. 700 crore is for 1 year only.
Okay.
Recurring income. That is recurring.
Okay. And sir, what would be, can you give some breakup of this 4,400 crores? How will be executed and margins on the order book, if it's possible, sir?
See, I already explained in response to another question that the time period of different projects is it varies actually. It will vary from 6 months to 4 years time.
Correct.
I mean, but the revenue generation will continue to occur. Though the project in the finality may be completed in the 4 years time, some big projects, but then revenue will continue to be generated. And as far as the margins are concerned, margins are also different for different projects. Like for the railways, we work at a margin of 8.5%.
Okay.
For BharatNet, we work at a margin of 16.5%. Then there are some projects where competition is less. There we get more margin, maybe 20% also. But where the competition is more, it will be less. So you can say from 8 to 20% will be the margin on the range in this for different projects.
Talking about the EBITDA margins here, right? We are talking about EBITDA, not the net margin. Is that correct to think?
It's the net margin actually.
This is the net margin.
Yes, all expenses considered.
Okay. And sir, so what will be the average execution period of this order book? I understand it's difficult, but should I consider from analysis point of view around the major order book getting over in 2.5 to 3 years?
Yes.
Is that correct to think?
Yes.
Say 80% of the order book of will be 3 years is correct to think, right?
3 years is correct. Yes, very correct.
Okay. And so my next question, you talked about this hospital management system. What is the size of the opportunity and what is the pie we are expecting to get out of this?
You see, for the railways, we are doing the complete project, Pan-Indian Railway.
Okay.
So it will be approximately 170 CR or so.
Okay.
And for different states, it is different. For Karnataka, like we have got a pilot one that is a small for about 9 CR or so. And that is a pilot only. But when it comes for the complete state, it will of course be big. And then and similarly, different states. For Delhi, there was a tender. That was not a nomination. That was a tender. So we participated in that tender. That was 100 CR. So it will be. All these states are now coming up with these either tenders or on nomination. So we'll certainly be getting some states.
Okay. Okay. So, the size of
of course, we have started this project.
So any figure on the size of the opportunity looking next to 3 to 4 years in this hospital management system would be?
Size, I am saying on an average you can take a state should be around 150 to 200. So a few states we get. So it will be as per that. Of course, Delhi is a smaller state. So Delhi it is 100 CR. But then size will be varying for varying states, and then we will get some states certainly.
And I would assume the net margins would be higher on this, around a range of 20+% in this kind of business, hospital management system.
In this kind, yes, should be approximately 20%.
That's it from me. Thank you, sir, and all the best to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may please press star and one at this time. The next question is from the line of Pinkesh Jain from Way2Wealth Securities. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. Sir, I have a couple of questions. I missed your comments on the margin part. Your voice was not audible at that time. So can you repeat that, sir? On the various projects, you have different margins. So BharatNet, it will be 16.5. What else, sir?
It is.
Hello, sir. Sorry, what was 8.5, sir?
For railways, for railway projects.
For railways, 8.5. Okay.
8.5, and for some projects, some other projects where competition is less, we even get more, like 20%, up to 20%. So it is the margin will be between 8 and 20% will be the margin. Normally,
sorry to interrupt, Mr. Jain. So this disturbance is coming from your line.
There is some noise.
Mr. Jain, I would request you to mute your line while the management answers your question.
Yeah, so I think you could get my answer.
Mr. Jain, your question is answered, sir.
Sorry, I also want to know, sir, that how much of our order book is on nomination basis and how much is on the tender?
See, it is 50-50 currently. But as we go on, I think it will be more on tender.
Okay. So, sir, I mean, the next question logically comes on the margins, because we are even getting 15% and 20% margins on certain projects. Of course, it also depends upon the complexity. But like, how comfortable we are that, I mean, what outlook can you give to us that we will still be able to enjoy such kind of margins, and there will be no like pressure from the railways?
See, from railways, we have got an MOU, and it is based upon that MOU that they give us this margin. And I mean, as I see these margins, because I mean, nobody can work below a particular level.
Okay.
They will also be, after all, logical with us. Nobody will be illogical.
Okay. So, sir, then this MOU is like a kind of a yearly MOU, or like we sit with the railways every year and we decide upon the margins? I'm talking only of the nomination contracts.
MOUs are made basically from project-wise. From project to project, we enter into MOU. But 8.5% is their policy actually, which they have made.
Okay. So finally, one last thing on this impairments that we have been charging in FY20 also we have written off, and even in the current year. So what is the status, sir, on this Northeast project, and and can you confirm our exposure now will be around 200 CR on this project, right?
I'll take this question.
Yeah.
Impairment for the Northeast project, for the permanent loss of asset, we had charged 7 crore in the half year ended 30th September. In the quarter ended 31st December, there is no permanent loss of asset, but only the depreciation has been accounted, amounting to rupees 3.41 CR. Going forward, no permanent damage is envisaged, and normal depreciation as per the Ind AS 36 will be considered in the financials. We have our network there, and since, as you You are aware that the government's focus is on Northeast, to develop Northeast in a very big way. So we have a head start there, and as and when the government schemes come, we will be participating. And we have our network, robust network, which will take care of the expansion.
Sir, so I'm still not able.
Mr. Jain, sir, I would request you to rejoin the queue for follow-up questions, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, you may press star and one now. The next question is from the line of Sandeep Dixit from Arjav Partners. Please go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. Just wanted to get a sense of how much is railways as a percentage of the revenue and how much is it as a percentage of the order book. Can you please give me some color?
Yeah, as a percentage of the order book, railways is currently 2/3 of the order book is from the railways.
Okay.
And
revenue 29%.
Revenue is approximately 29%
in Q3
right now.
So, I mean, how's that? I mean, okay, let me put it this way. Is the revenue number considering the services and projects both, or are we talking only about projects?
No, services and project both.
Okay, so on an overall basis, it's 29% for 9 months FY21. Am I right?
It is
29% is for the project work, but considering the services also, this will range in the range of 35 to 37%.
Okay. Okay. The second question I had was this: do you have a right of first refusal on a railway project, or can you, or are you sort of required to take every project that the railway gives?
See, we don't refuse projects. Why will we refuse projects when they are offering to us on this nomination basis? We will not refuse projects.
Possible that some projects are far too difficult to justify the 8.5% margin, no?
No, I don't think we will do such a thing or we do such a thing. We take the challenges, whatever projects come, we will take the challenge.
No loss till date on any project. No loss till date.
And I mean, there is no loss on any railway project till date.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you, sir. That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anurag Patil from Roha Group. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. So 2 to 3 years down the line, what can be the revenue contribution from projects versus telecom services segment?
From projects versus telecom?
Yeah.
See, both the revenue streams will continue to grow. I can say this confidently because, as I told just now, the projects COVID has, preponed the investment on the ICT projects. Every ICT project requires services also because connectivity has to be provided everywhere. Data center services have to be provided everywhere. Data protection policies now state that all the government organizations must have data residing within the country. So both the services and the project segment will continue to grow and will continue to grow at a fast pace.
But sir, can we say the project business will grow at a much higher rate compared to services segment?
See, our projects have a component of services also. So, like I just briefed about the Central Coalfields project. So that project has a component of services also. Once we execute the project, the services will continue for the next 5 years. So that way, we are, confident, sure that both the sectors will grow together. Our broadband service, that will continue to grow. I just told you that the villages, we are proposing that we can provide broadband services to the villages. So those services, they fall in the category of services, and they will continue to grow.
Okay, sir. Thank you. And one last question. Any kind of revenue guidance you can give for FY22? Any ballpark numbers?
See, you can see our growth as compared to FY20. You can see our projections in up to the third quarter. So this will continue to grow in the same fashion.
Okay, sir. That's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for today. On behalf of ITPI Capital, thank you for joining in the call, and you may now disconnect your lines.